Welcome to my journey through the Bible. This will be applications you can apply to your life and a little more in depth about the chapter. We are in Exodus 32 1 through 35. And the Israelites were used to seeing many different gods when they were slaves in Egypt. There would be a god shaped like a bull, there would be a god shaped like a calf. There would be a god shaped like a ball. And all of these gods were considered to be a symbol of power and fertility. So this is probably why they wanted to have a calf to worship. And they wanted something that they could visually touch and see. Whoa, which is crazy because God was all around them. God had provided them food and water, and He had visually divided this Red Sea so that they could walk across it. These were mighty miracles that they could see God in the midst of this. They had the cloud during the day and a ball of fire at night. But all of this was not enough. And I would say a lot of times today, we make gods out of our work, out of money, out of prestige, out of people. The list can go on. So many times we try to put God in this nice, neat little box. We want to contain God. We want to pull Him down to our level. This way, when we make decisions, we feel like we're right and we get to stay in our comfort zone. The thing is God doesn't work that way. God cannot be contained, and God is limitless. There is no end to His power and what He does and what He can control. When God speaks, the whole earth listens to Him. So we have to put God first, and we have to grow in our faith and in our love. And I think Aaron is a prime example of that. Aaron just went along with what the people said because he didn't want to be uncomfortable. He didn't want to go against the crowd. So he just went along with the people because that was the easiest route to go. And many times we go along with our friends and our family because we don't want to make waves. We don't want to put strain on those relationships or lose people in our friendships. But God tells us we can't let anything come before Him, not even our family. This is why houses are divided. This is why brother goes against brother. And God tells us you can't serve two masters. You will love one and you will hate the other. So we too have to pick a side that we're going to be on. Are you going to live your life for God and the way that He would have you live it? Or are you going to go along with the crowd? We have to realize that we have to take a stand for God and for what is right. Jesus died on the cross for you and for me. He took a stand because He saw the greater good. He wanted to give us better life and more abundantly. And God is the same today, yesterday, and forever. In this chapter, we see that God turned from His wrath. God wanted to destroy the people. This was in consistency with His justice. God is a just God. And sin deserves death. So God was acting justly in wanting to destroy them for their sin. But Moses intervened and talked to God on their behalf. And then God acted consistently with his mercy. So God was consistent in his love. I think that this is much like parents. Sometimes our children frustrate us so much that we want to take everything away from them and lock them in their room for at least a week until we can calm down. So we want to punish our children for the things they have done, but then we realize how much we love them and we give them a lesser punishment. So maybe we take something away for only the weekend because of our love that we have for them. We don't give them the harsher punishment that we maybe initially thought of. We think about how much we love them and we want to get something across or point across to them, but we need it to not be so severe that they don't learn from it. And also, God will place people in our lives. And just as Jesus stood in the gap for us, sometimes we have to stand in the gap for other people. And that means, are you going to give your money, your time, your resources in order to help somebody else? Or are you going to say, nope, that price is too much? And of course, the only person that can answer that question is you. You know to what extremes you're going to go to stand in the gap, just like Moses did for the Israelites. He said, here, I will take on their punishment. Are you willing to take on the punishment for somebody else in order to help them? And we have to realize that sometimes God uses us to reach other people, but those people are not always willing to accept the truth, or they're not willing to accept God at this point in their life. And we have to be willing to walk away. We have to be obedient to God, as in telling them about God, try to teach them about God. And then we have to pray for them and allow them to make their own choices. God gives us free will. He does not force anybody to obey him or listen to his laws or his commandments. He sits them in front of them and says, this is a better way, this is a better life, but you have to willingly choose it. I will not force you to do this. And we have to do the same even when it's our family and our friends. We have to give them the truth. We have to present it to them, but then we have to allow them to choose whether they will walk down the path of righteousness or not. May God be with you in everything and in every way.